Tonight on your DC News Now at 9, a fatal lightning strike. 3 people are dead and another is hospitalized after being struck by lightning near the White House. What family members have to say. Plus, testing negative. President Biden can finally leave isolation after suffering from a rebound case of COVID-19. How the president is faring. Your News at 9 starts right now. Good evening and welcome to DC News Now at 9. I'm Marielle Carbone. We begin tonight with the soaring temperatures throughout the region. Joining us now is meteorologist Scott Sumner with the latest on today's weather outlook. Hi, Scott.
Hello, Marielle, and hello to you on this Saturday evening. The temperatures are still pretty warm out there. As you can see, the heat index, which is the actual temperature plus the humidity factored in to give you a number, and we're still in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees at D.C. Waldorf. We're in the 90s here at Annapolis at 91, Lexington Park 91, Frederick at 91, Leesburg at 90. It's kind of a sauna out there at this hour, mid-evening hour. However, we saw more clouds and showers and storms out towards the west. Well, that cooled you down, so it's feeling like 77 at Culpeper, 77 at Luray as well. Here is our latest radar scan. As you see quite nicely, there have been pockets of showers as we speak, but overall, it's a fairly quiet night. A little heavier rain here off of St. Mary's County as that moves in towards the Chesapeake Bay. Other than that, pretty good, pretty quiet. However, when those showers do finally come to an end, we could have some fog starting to build in after the midnight hour, though visibilities at this point in time are looking good. Frederick a little bit lower than other areas here with 7 miles visibility, but still, having said that, that is still pretty good. Here are your headlines here. So some isolated showers and some patchy fog overnight. Typical summer type weather continues on Sunday and staying hot and humid really through the middle of the week. But another front comes in this week and it'll cool us down. I think you're going to like my 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of the district. The D.C. Metropolitan Police need your help finding a missing 13-year-old girl from Northwest D.C. On your screen now is Zara Jones. Police say she was last seen on Friday on 12th Street in Northwest D.C. at around 8 p.m. If you have any information on where she might be or if you've seen her, you're asked to call police. And police say 2 men were transported to the hospital after a stabbing in Northeast D.C. Officials tell us a man stabbed another man multiple times on Mount Olivet Road Northeast. The injured man then got in his car and hit the man who stabbed him. Now, both suffered non-life-threatening injuries, and both are expected to face charges. In Prince George's County today, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Wes Moore hosted a thank you rally showing his appreciation for voters in the county. Our reporter Yamari Sase was there today and has the story.
More than 100 people entered the Southern Regional Technology and Rec Center in Fort Washington, holding Democratic gubernatorial nominee Wes Moore campaign signs.
Close to 50% of the vote came from Prince George's County, the highest vote total of this campaign of any jurisdiction in the state of Maryland.
That's why Moore and his running mate for Lieutenant Governor Arundel chose to host their first rally in Prince George's County.
This election is not about any of the candidates on the ballot. It's about you. It's about your dreams, your hopes, and a future you want to build. Our friend, my friend, Wes Moore.
Moore discussed the initiatives he plans to focus on while emphasizing his campaign slogan, "No one left behind."
Leave no one behind, which means we are going to work and ensure that our children are being trained not just to be employees, but how to be employers. Leaving no one behind, which means that our local jurisdictions and our municipalities and our local elected officials are going to have a partner when it comes to addressing the issue of public safety. Leave no one behind, which means we are going to support our small businesses and our micro businesses.
The Democratic frontrunner even called out his opponent, Republican nominee Dan Cox, accusing him of being too extreme.
What we have standing in front of us right now is not an opponent. It's a threat.
His overall message from Saturday's rally:
what we're asking for each and every one of you is everything that you all did in the build-up to the primary is let's rev up and do it again.
Reporting in Fort Washington, Maryland, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
Well, tragedy just steps away from the White House. 4 people struck by lightning 3 of them are now dead. Tonight, we're learning more about 2 of the victims, a couple who came to Washington, D.C. for their 56th wedding anniversary. Jim Mueller was 76. Donna Mueller was 75. Both were hit and killed by lightning during this Thursday's violent storm. Now, Michelle McNett tells D.C. News Now that her aunt and uncle leave behind 5 kids, 10 grandkids, 2 great-grandkids, and that they're also leaving behind a legacy of love and care.
They were just really good people and would do anything for anybody.
56 years after they wed, Wisconsin couple Jim and Donna Mueller died when lightning struck during a trip to the district. They were here celebrating their wedding anniversary.
They were doing what they loved best. They were there because they were still deeply in love at, from high school 56 years later, and just to enjoy each other and this great country.
Their niece, Michelle McNett, said she had grown closer with her aunt and uncle recently. They were there constantly when McNett's dad, Donna's brother, was battling cancer. He died this past May.
I think it's just kind of a comfort that he's waiting there for them.
Friday night, D.C. police confirmed a 3rd person died from the lightning strike, though it did not say who the person was. We know he was 29 years old and his family has not yet been notified. A 4th person, a woman, is still recovering after suffering injuries. As for the Muellers, McNett says their 5 children are still in shock, but the family can take comfort knowing the legacy they leave behind.
Donna and Jim was so well loved that it's just shown us that even through tragedy, once we come together, we can get through anything.
And President Biden has since responded to what happened, writing, "Our hearts are with the families who lost loved ones, and we are praying for those still fighting for their lives." Now, according to the CDC, the risk of being struck by lightning is low, but the consequences are serious. From 2006 through 2021, lightning caused an average of 28 deaths per year here in the United States. Now, when you do see lightning, the National Weather Service says to go inside right away. Don't touch any sinks or faucets or anything plugged into an electrical outlet. And you should also stay away from outside doors and windows and wait 30 minutes before going outside once a storm stops. Now, the DMV saw a night of heavy rain, high winds, and downed trees on Friday. And this evening, plenty of people are still without power. Now, we have seen a spike in power outages in Virginia since we last took a look at this. The number of individuals without power has gone from around 300 to over 1,000 cases. Meanwhile, in D.C., most outages have been taken care of, but we also have seen a slight rise from low 30s to low 40s. Now, in Maryland, that was the hardest hit by the storm over the past 2 days, with crews scrambling to restore power to over 55,000 people over a 2-day period. As you can see from this graphic, from Thursday to today, crews were able to restore power to most of the state, but currently there are just over 3,000 residents still without power, mostly centered in the Baltimore and Hyattsville areas. We'll keep an eye on those numbers as work is done to restore power in the area. Well, an update on Thursday's library shooting out of Anacostia. An arrest has been made in the death of library police officer Marissa Mayen. Now, 58-year-old Jesse Porter is charged with involuntary manslaughter. Porter, who owns a tactical training company, was conducting a baton training at the library Thursday. That's when he fired his gun, killing Mayen. Now, Porter is a retired officer of the Metropolitan Police Department. Well, the National Guard is denying assistance to Mayor Muriel Bowser for what she is calling a humanitarian crisis. Since mid-July, more than 6,000 migrants have arrived in the district, bussed here from governors in Arizona and Texas. Now, Bowser requested 150 National Guard members to help provide mass housing for migrants as they are processed, but that request was denied, with U.S. defense officials saying the request is too open-ended. Instead, the work is now falling on D.C.-based humanitarian groups. FEMA is providing a $1 million grant to help with resources. Well, after contracting COVID a second time, President Biden has once again tested negative. The announcement came from the president's physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, who says that Biden will continue to self-isolate until he receives a second negative test result. Now, we're told aside from just a cough, the president is in good health. President Biden announced his second COVID infection only 3 days after receiving a clean bill of health. Biden was taking Paxlovid, an antiviral medicine with a 5 to 8% chance of COVID rebound. The president has been working even in self-isolation. Well, yesterday, Virginia state regulators gave Dominion Energy the go-ahead to build a wind farm off the shore of Virginia Beach. Dominion says the farm of 176 windmills will be built around 27 miles from shore. They say they're also reviewing the approval order for specific power output, among other things. And Indiana is now the first state to pass new anti-abortion legislation after the overturning of Roe v. Wade. The new ban will allow for abortions in cases of rape and incest and if the fetus is deemed lethal to the mother. Now, abortions can only be performed at state-run hospitals, meaning abortion clinics will lose their licenses. The ban also places more pressure on doctors since any abortions performed illegally will result in them being stripped of their license. Senators on both sides have spoken out against this ban, noting how it'll affect low-income women and the state's healthcare system as a whole. That ban, it'll take effect on September 15th. Now, that was the sound heard around the world this week after the ruby red state of Kansas resoundingly rejected a ballot measure which would have paved the way for a statewide abortion ban. With less than 100 days until the midterm elections, the results have Democrats hopeful and Republicans worried. News Nation has this story.
A political earthquake in Kansas that is sending aftershocks across the nation.
Knowing that Kansans still have a constitutional right to make their own private medical decisions and to get abortion access, it is so important.
A constitutional amendment that could have reshaped women's rights from western Kansas to the Missouri border fell short by nearly 20 points. A victory for Rachel Sweet, the campaign manager for one of the organizations that led this movement. She says it was bigger than what political party you were a part of.
It is clear that Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, unaffiliated voters across the state were voting no in record numbers.
Turnout in the state of Kansas surpassing any previous primary, with over 50% of voters making their feelings felt.
Grassroots support and campaigns really can work, and that's what we saw play out in Kansas.
The grassroots organizing reaching nearly 1 million Kansans, and the results of this race drawing the eye of President Biden, who says in part, this vote makes clear what we know. The majority of Americans agree that women should have access to abortion and the right to make their own health care decisions.
I think Kansas is sending the message that we definitely do not want politicians being the ones to make our reproductive health care decisions.
In the end, the no side understands how much the stakes rose when Roe v. Wade was gone.
You might have agreed, but maybe you wouldn't have taken time off work or figured out childcare to get to the polls before. But when Roe fell, people saw the backstop is the state protection, and we have to keep it.
Well, a 66-year-old man is being charged for hate crimes after vandalizing a church in Arundel County, Maryland. Police say Donald Eugene Hood Jr. wrote an offensive message on the inside door to the Kingdom Celebration Center on Wednesday. Now, Hood was arrested on Friday and is being charged with malicious destruction of property and 3 other counts. The church is known to serve the Black community in the area. This is the second time it's been vandalized in a matter of weeks. Hood was released after a hearing with the county commissioner. The case is still open and Hood could face more charges. Well, still to come on DC News Now, the results from this year's CPAC straw poll. Who came out on top and who fell short? Next. And a new health emergency in the United States, what the White House is doing to step up the fight against monkeypox.